I'm not gonna lie to you guys, Tall Girl is the kind of movie I would not seek out on my own if I were the one trying to find entertainment. I would probably have sought out something more like The Island, something that legitimately looked interesting on paper. However, the thing is, when I went looking around my YouTube off and on this week, I could not help but notice how much of a taco dump people are putting on this movie. I mean, good lord. I've been seeing movies like Tall Girl is the worst teen drama ever, Tall Girl, absolutely horrible, etc. And it's like, is it really that bad? So I basically abandoned any all concept of restraint and any all concept of decency, and I, a 33-year-old man, watched a movie intended for 15-year-old girls. And yes, I am very ashamed of myself. Really, when I watched the trailer for the first time ever, my first thought is, well, okay, I mean, it looks like a pretty standard teen drama. The only difference is the girl is like 6'1". So, I mean, that gimmick aside, I mean, it's really not all that different, right? Well, then I started watching this movie and, I don't know, man. I'm not sure how much of this is just teen drama movies in general, or how much of it is just this specific movie, but I found it absolutely impossible to relate to this character. Granted, like I said, 33-year-old guy watching a movie for 15-year-old girls. Clearly not my demographic, but even with that in mind, I was so not into this movie. I was just not feeling her complaints at all. I'm 6'1". Nobody likes me because I'm tall. Bitch, I'm blind in my right eye and I have to take Uber everywhere. Seriously, 5 minutes into this movie. 5 minutes into this movie, I ended up pulling out my ocarina, which I recently discovered, and I found myself playing the saddest song I could think of for this po little tall girl. And it goes a little something like this. That's Simple Plan, by the way. This movie made me go out of my way to learn a song by Simple Plan. That is what this movie did to me. Just in case I wasn't feeling ashamed of myself enough, I mean, I then had to make matters worse for myself by learning a song by Simple Plan for the sake of having a gag for this movie. This is going to be a long movie review, isn't it? Hey, as long as we're doing songs for a movie, let me try one more here. 1, 2, 3. They've been friends since they were both just 5. And she was 5'5" or so. She really wants to be the popular girl. And he wants her to love her, but there's no connection. He's carrying around a milk crate because that's quirky. Also, he's a nerd. He'll never get the girl. But suddenly, the Swedish student cheated on her. And the next thing you know, he's standing on the crate. They're kissing and it's so beautiful. And it was bullshit, bullshit. That would never happen. Yeah, this right here is the problem I have with a lot of romantic comedies and a lot of romantic dramas, is that just how unrealistic it is. Trust me, if you're the weirdo carrying around the milk cart like that guy was, you're not going to get the girl. Ever. You're at least not going to get that one. Maybe, take that milk cart, throw it aside, maybe find somebody who's, a little more open. In reality, the smart thing to do would be to cut your losses and go with the third girl that got introduced into the equation. I want to say her name was Liz. That would probably be the smart thing to do in reality, because she's totally into you, and you're never going to get the tall girl because the tall girl only sees you as a friend. This is an exercise in futility. You're not going to win this battle. And instead of basically becoming a wizard or whatever the meme is now, maybe you should just cut your losses and, pursue the path not traveled and go the third route. I'm not a very good guru, am I? Yeah, I know, I've been going this whole review not really actually talking about the movie all that much. I mean, it really didn't leave me with a lot to talk about, I hate to say. Is it a good movie? No. Is it a bad movie? I hesitate to say yes, but I hesitate to say no either. I mean, if we're being entirely honest, guys, my standard for bad movies is way up there. I mean, we're talking The Lobster. We're talking, oh, I don't know, pretty much anything on Mystery Science Theater, like, I don't know, Invasion of the Neptune Men. That was probably one of the worst movies I've ever seen, ever, regardless of time period and whatever was popular, etc., etc. So, I've seen some really disastrous train wreck movies in my time, and Tall Girl doesn't even register. That being said, this is a movie I will probably never watch again, ever. You will never pay me to watch it ever again. It's this moment right here where I almost regret that I don't believe in half hats, because under that stipulation, I would probably end up giving this 1.5 hats out of 4, but I've always felt like the whole thing with like halves always just feels like such a cop-out, so I am going to have to round up my score, and I'm going to have to give Tall Girl 2 hats out of 4. And that's going to do it for this week's Hatflix and Chill. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, ring-a-ding the bell, and remind me that this is totally worth pursuing and that I'm not wasting my time. I love you guys, seriously. I love you in a completely non-stalker way and would love to continue to provide my opinion to you guys, seriously. I should probably stop that tangent while I'm ahead. Don't need those commentator dudes talking about me again. That was a weird episode. Until next time. I'm going to practice my ocarina a little more here. 2, 3, 4. That's not how that song goes at all.